Thank you so very much for being back. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. So our main conversation for today. An Abuja Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Kuje has ordered the remand of Mr. Aloy Ejimakor, counsel to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, alongside Kanu's brother, Emmanuel, and 10 others following the free Nnamdi Kanu protest. The defendants were accused of defying a court order, chanting war songs and obstructing traffic during the demonstration.
Very true. According to the police, their actions amounted to criminal conspiracy, incitement, and disturbance of public peace offences punishable under the Penal Code. The defendant, taken from police custody, could not enter their pleas due to the absence of legal representation. And also, Ejimakor requested a brief adjournment to allow the defense team to arrive, but the court rejected his plea and fixed Friday for hearing. A member of Kanu's legal team disclosed that a motion for bail had been filed but could not be served on the police as the authorized officers was reportedly unavailable. Meanwhile, Ejimakor, speaking from Kuje Prison, confirmed his detention and alleged that authorities deliberately chose the Kuje court for the trial, bypassing others in the city. Reacting to the development, former Senate President Adolphus Wabara condemned the arrest and detention of the protesters, describing it as a dent on Nigeria's democratic image. He urged President Bola Tinubu to call security agencies to order, stressing that peaceful protest is a constitutional right. All right, let's get talking. We have Emeka Madunagu. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for hanging on.
Thank you.
Now, I would love you to speak to the detention of Barrister Ejimakor, here, the brother to Nnamdi Kanu, and 10 others who they said were protesting, which is enshrined in the Constitution 1999 as amended. Speak to me on this. The police media head. What's the name of this dude now? Hyundai. Yes. Was on speaking on national television, and he was questioned whether the Nigerian police were going against the right of Nigerians to protest. And he said that the Nigerian police weren't going against the right of Nigerians to protest, but that the court had ordered for the protest not to have been carried out, and that was why they were arrested.
The court has no power. There is no court that has any power to stop protests. The court said, don't protest in so and so place. Don't protest in Aso Villa. Don't protest in the 3-arm zone. Where you arrested these people was not in Aso Villa. It was not in the 3-arm zone. So I just think the Inspector General of Police is just fishing for attention. It's totally condemnable. He should go and do his job and stop looking for distractions. That's the truth. You have Bello Tuji in the north, a terrorist, attending meetings, coming into town with his people, hanging guns and all that, telling you clearly that he killed people because, you know, an early agreement was reneged upon. And you can't do anything about it. The DSS now just released a warning that ISWAP is planning to attack communities in Ondo and Kogi states. That is what should concern the Inspector General of Police, not about people holding protests. These agencies are funded with taxpayers' money. It just amounts to a waste of taxpayers' money. You took them to Kuje. You are defeated at the Court of Appeal. In the case filed by the MPP and former President Muhammadu Buhari concerning protest, you were defeated at the Court of Appeal. And you know that you cannot go to the Supreme Court because you don't have any point to prove. The Court of Appeal is a court, you know, generally is a court of final jurisdiction. Generally, unless you have certain matters, particularly constitutional matters, to, you know, a debate to say, oh, no, the Supreme Court should look at it based on this contention, this contention, this contention. Can the Supreme Court look at it and give a different judgment? That's all. But for the fact that the police have been defeated at the Court of Appeal, why are you now saying that you are charging them to... because you know the case will not go anywhere. Did they try it with answers? We thought the rigmarole went just wasting public. Where did they get to? Buhari did the same thing with Omore Sowore. They were just trying fishing until the Tinubu administration came in, and the Attorney General of the Federation filed a notice of discontinuance because they knew there was no case. Just some people who feel that, you know, they are bigger than the laws of Nigeria. And what do we see? Just waste public funds. When we need the security agencies to concentrate on serious issues at hand, you are saying they were chanting war songs. How ridiculous. What is the meaning of chanting war songs? How do war songs sound?
What's this war song?
No, tell me now. How do war songs? I mean, you said they embarrass this nation. And people read these things all over the world and they wonder what kind of people are this. They were chanting. How do war songs sound? I need somebody to tell me. How do war songs, how do they sound? What are the lyrics of war songs? Because I've never seen any artist in the world who released something and wrote war song. I've never seen. I've never heard. Unless maybe in all those folklore, you know, they said, oh, when the days of those kingdoms, you know. Okay. Well, but Russia and Ukraine that are fighting, is it that when the pilots are going for bombing missions, there are songs they chant? Or is it when the drones are flying, there are songs being played from the... I don't understand. It's just total badadash.
Okay. Can peaceful protest, right? Can peaceful protest legally amount to criminal conspiracy or disturbance of public peace under the Penal Code?
You see, let me tell you, whether Penal Code, whether Criminal Code, when you don't have a case, you will just be fishing for, you know, you will just be fishing for reasons. That is what is happening in this. Look at where you arrested them, Mitama. You now took them all the way to Kuje before a chief magistrate. And look at it, all the matters list, all the offences listed are available. The chief magistrate said he will not bail them. Why? And no legal representation. Why not wait for the legal representation? You deliberately, you see all this mischief make us a laughing stock in the international community. When you travel abroad and you sit with officials of different nations, you travel around the nation, you sit with scholars, and they ask you questions, you just feel so embarrassed. You see, the major problem in Nigeria is ego. Some people, just their ego, just to show President Bola Tinubu, I'm working. Abuja was shot down on Monday by the police, not by the protesters. How many were the protesters? Okay, how many people did you arrest? How many protesters were there? Did they damage any public property? No. The court said don't protest here, and they didn't go there. You were the one who shut down everywhere. You erected barricades everywhere, even electric fences. One man who was driving, excuse me, on his own, going his way, his vehicle ran into one of your electric fences. The police officer started running up and down, looking for how to put it off. Something that could have killed the occupants of the vehicle. Were they protesters? You see, all this high-handedness is what we are asking that. We don't need this. What we need is, you know, we need actions that tend to build up our democracy. We don't need all these distractions, all these sideshows. We don't need them. Because people will continue to protest. Whether you like it or not, people will continue to protest. You cannot stop people from protesting because you are also a beneficiary of protest. The IGP is the IGP of a democratic administration, which was the fallout of pro-democracy protests that made the military to quit the stage. Register, get INEC, set up INEC register political parties and held elections. So being the beneficiary of pro-democracy protests, there is no ground on which you can establish why you are now on your own writing your own constitution about protests. You are affronting the constitution. And I hope people realize one day they'll be out of that office. Omo the activist, he held a protest concerning police benefits, police retirement benefits. Now, the Inspector General of Police has come out to say that, okay, they are looking into it, that now they've seen, after the protest, that they've seen, okay, there's some merit in, you know, having a second look at, you know, should the policemen be under the contributory pension scheme, since the military is not under it, since some agencies of government are not under contributory pension scheme, okay, should we now have a review? Okay, we're going to have a review. The outcome of a protest. So when you now tell people not to, I now wonder, why, what is all of this? President Bola Tinubu was actively involved in protests, occupying Nigeria, naming different protests. December 30 this year will make it 30 years. 30 years of the Nadeko rally at Yaba. The big Nadeko rally, which was about, I think, the biggest rally, gathering of pro-democracy figures in the fight against the military. 1995, I was there. You had Chwinka, you had Nahoro, you had different, you had Bekor and Sonkuti, you had pro-democracy figures. They turned up that day. December 30 this year. We'll make it 30 years of 1995. By 1999, 4 years later, we had a democratic dispensation. If those old men at that time, if they had not sacrificed their, you know, they had not risked their life, they had not sacrificed their time and all of that to come out for that rally, would we be talking of democracy today? And we can go on and on and on and on and on. So protest is a constitutional right. There is no basis for all of this. You just want to show, yes, I dealt with Nnamdi Kanu, and so what? Look, what we need are actions that will advance democracy. Remember, the appeal court already set Nnamdi Kanu free. It is on record. They said the manner of his rendition from Kenya, his abduction from Kenya, invalidated any thought of trying him. Is there? But the problem with Nigeria is that we like to dwell on it, to promote illiteracy. When we know that in that matter, the appeal court has settled it. But some people, because Nnamdi Kanu called Buhari Jubril of Sudan, and Buhari took it as a personal ego, that is the main thing. It's not about that he killed me with this, that, because the lawyers have asked them, give evidence where he killed people. You say he incited people and all of that, they're just running up and down. It's fine. And the trial continues. But people who are calling for his trial have said that the manner of his rendition, even a court in Kenya, has condemned the manner of his rendition. You went to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court did what it did, and then you brought back the trial and all of that. And the people are telling you that, look, there is no basis for this trial. That, it is, I mean, are you saying that you will flog, you will beat a child and the child will not cry? The manner of his rendition, if you had extradited him lawfully, legally, perhaps we'll be talking of a different thing. But he's hanging on to that, that the manner of his rendition invalidates any idea of his trial. So, well, it's up to the to the Federal High Court, to decide on that. But you see, arresting his lawyer and all of that, let me tell you something. It will not solve anything. Yes, the nation is on edge. The protests could have been, by the way, you held the protesters, you arrested them, you remanded them in prison. Look, they ought to know by now that taking protesters to prison is only promoting them. When Showore was a student leader in Unilag, how many people knew him? When he was president of Unilag Students, how many people knew him? When we began to engage the government, and the government would arrest him, put him in prison, you were promoting him. You were now giving him a global status. When Nnamdi Kanu started in 2014, some of us were saying, please handle this matter with care. Don't crack down on them because you will not give them the basis for their agitation. Nnamdi Kanu now played his game and said that Buhari had died, that the person who was there was a clone, and Buhari lashed on it. Why can't you just avoid certain traps? The next thing, the chief of army staff, Burata, said, Operation Python dance. And look at how many youths were wasted for nothing. Something that could have just been handled in a way that, look, would be so easy. People came up and said, they talked of a Yoruba nation. Did you open fire on them? These things were handled diplomatically. And that's what we need. Okay. But when you are more interested in they come out to protest, we will arrest them, we will take them to court. Not today. People say not today. How many did the military put? How many? Where is Abacha today? Let's walk away from that beating part. Let's do things that will ease the tension, that will bring about reconciliation. People are angry. People are not happy. And then, certain parties, criminals have seized on all these issues. And look at the killings and all of that.
Okay.
It's actually very despicable. And to be honest to you, these things, when they happen and when we see them, they're actually not pleasant, to the eye. Remember 1997, the alleged coup of General Sani Abacha, like you rightly said. I remember very well Oladipo Dia, Olarinwanjo, Fadigbe, Abdulkarim Adisa, they were all held just hours to be executed until Sani Abacha passed away. And today they are free. Most of them are late now, but the message in there is power is transient. You might have it today, it won't be here today. And who knows what the story that will be told about you. Like Sani Abacha, nobody reminds or remembers him on a good light. And would you be remembered when you're no longer here? That's the big question. Thank you so very much, Anaka, for being here. Truly do appreciate you. All right, people, that's just about the time we have. I'd love to say thank you. Please do well to follow us. If you may, you can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Kwibike.
And I am Kehinde Boduri.
Have yourself a splendid day, and bye-bye.
Yeah.